Hello lovelies, and welcome to the doll room, or welcome back if you are returning. Now today I wanted to talk about dolls for grounding. So what do I mean by that? So to be grounded, to feel centered in yourself. For me, grounding is about feeling rooted, not flitting everywhere, not feeling like I'm floating away. To be grounded is to be focused, to be calm, to feel safe, to feel connected. That's what grounding feels like for me, and I had to work at it, having gone through certain traumas in my life and being the family scapegoat. At certain points in my life I felt like I have no roots. I felt like all my roots were chopped out from underneath me, and for years with PTSD I felt like I was floating, and it was the most awful feeling and a place where you can't achieve anything from. If you're floating in air, you're just continually flailing, and that's what it felt like. Now for me, grounding and being able to focus came from a really unusual source for me, and it might be completely different for you, but for me, getting onto sort of a pagan spiritual path and being aware of the moon helped me feel grounded. And it still surprises me that a celestial body like the moon could be the one thing that makes me feel grounded to earth. But I felt as long as I knew where the moon was in the sky, it kind of gave me an anchor point. So I try, don't always manage it, but I do try to keep in touch with what moon phase we're in throughout the month. And what on earth has this got to do with dolls? Well, I've got a few dolls that remind me to do that. So the first doll, and she really is like a reminder doll. She lives on my desk in my bedroom. She was found just for 20 pence in a charity shop. And why is she my moon doll? So she has a crescent moon on her forehead. Can you see it there? She's also got moons on her fairy wings. She's got moons, crescent moons on the back, and stars. She's got planets and moons tattooed up her arm. She is a gorgeous little, I think she's part of the Poopsie slime range, some of the little dolls that came with it, but she's just a gorgeous reminder of like being connected to the moon. I love the fact she's got safety pins up on her head. I think that's linked to the fact that she's like a baby doll, but for me the safety pins represent being able to connecting something to something else, like that safety of feeling connected and not floating away. So when I saw her for just like 20p, I think I paid for her, she was just an amazing doll for connection. Now she lives next to this stone that my daughter painted for me with a night sky on and the moon, and she reminds me, because she's out in my line of vision, to try and keep track of where the moon is by pulling one of these moon cards, which have got all the different stages of the moon on the back, and the front is just like a little mantra. So as long as I keep these rotating and the doll kind of holds them up for me, then it's brilliant. Now we had a full moon, the last full moon I think was it the 22nd of May. We are currently we're waning, so we're coming away from full moon. So waning means that the visible moon is getting smaller. We're in the waning gibbous, which you can see the shape of the moon at the top. And our mantra is, I harness my inner courage and trust that I'll succeed. So it's the waning gibbous moon. So I'm going to leave that out next to my moon doll there. So she's my first moon doll that I wanted to share with you. Now another doll that I've associated with a full moon is this Enchantimals, and I chose her because her skirt looks like she's got moons on her skirt, but also she's got this kind of silvery blue hair which for me kind of reminds me of moonlight. She's got the cats, and often I hear cats howling under the moon. A lot of cats around here that do that in the gardens at night. So she just reminded me of sort of a cat under the moon, like singing songs and crying to the moon. So she is my full moon doll, and because her hair is very blue, it's the lightest phase of the moon. So she's my full moon doll. Like I said, the moon makes me feel grounded. I'll often pop her in a little bag around my neck just to take out with me, especially if I'm having like moments of anxiety, because like I don't necessarily have to parade her around and show everybody I've got a doll. Just knowing that she's in my bag around my neck, it's sometimes just that comfort and that reminder that I am connected, I'm not floating away, I can stay calm, I can keep focused. So really good for my mental health, my grounding doll. So I have this gorgeous OMG girl who for me signifies the dark moon. So when all of the moon is non-visible in the sky, just her very essence is very dark moon energy. And I think for me she signifies that strength element of remaining grounded, like the badass energy of demanding that you stay grounded in the toughest of times, which is why she lives over here on my desk, close to all my Morrigan dolls and artwork for the Morrigan. So the Morrigan is a Celtic deity who I work with on my spiritual path, and she is one of the Morrigan dolls, but she is very much also a moon doll for me, but the new moon. And I just love her so much, kind of just tucked in there on what is my working desk. That's the corner of my working desk. Everything here has significance for different things. It's all very, very important stuff for me. So you can see that my inner world and my inner life, the dolls are really important for, and I love that. But yeah, I couldn't do this video without sharing my new moon doll as well. Now, it might be that for you, grounding feels like being around trees, and you might want to choose, say, some dolls that represent trees for you. It might be that it's that idea of walking barefoot on grass, which is a fantastic source of grounding. So anything that reminds you of grass, like your green dolls, could represent grounding. It might be that that idea of knowing where the moon in the sky also appeals to you, and you want to go for moon dolls. Or it might be that there's association you've got with a certain colour, and that colour for you just calms you down. For me, I think grey is a really good colour for that, because I think grey, when you look at it, has so much depth to it. I know people think grey is a cold colour, but I think it's really mysterious sort of colour that you can sink into. So it might be that you go for a colour to represent grounding dolls. But I think once you've made up your mind what works for you, it is just really useful to choose a few dolls and say, right, your job in my collection and our path together and the story that we're going to build together is that one of grounding, of feeling connected, of calm focus. And I know it's definitely helped my mental health with my doll collection. So that's why I'm really excited today to open up. And yes, it's another mermaid doll, but I've chosen her because she's got a moon tail, a crescent moon tail. And the minute I realised that one of these Mermaidz dolls had a moon tail, I thought, wow, it's another grounding doll for me. And I think the message here is you can go to the depths of the ocean or up into the stratosphere to the planets, and you can still be connected. It's the very depth of connection under the water here. So I just love that added symbolism to my dolls. I think if I can find some sort of link like that with my dolls, I just love doing it. So we're going to open her today, and it's funny because calmness, a lot of my Mermaidz dolls aren't open yet because the previous videos I did, which I'll link in the description box, I was opening 3 dolls up at a time, one from each wave, to compare them. And it felt a lot for me opening 3 brand new dolls, which have a lot going on. It was a lot and I felt overwhelmed. So I've been putting off and putting off and putting off doing the next opening video. So I've still got a lot of Mermaidz to open, simply because I'd made myself feel overwhelmed. Now today, this morning, coming to my moon doll and changing the card, thinking, where is the moon in the sky, it just reminded me that I don't have to remain overwhelmed. In any area of my life, I can segment things down. I can do smaller tasks. I can really slow down my time frame. Like, I'm in charge of that level of overwhelm most of the time. Sometimes I know we're not, but as a special needs single mom, believe me, I know that sometimes we're not always in control, but a lot of the time we're more in control than we realise. And it suddenly made me think of this moon doll, who I've been dying to get open to add to the moon dolls, but she's still in box because I had told myself I need to open 3 at a time. And I just sat there this morning and thought, I could just open 1 doll at a time. And it was like a revelation. So literally it was that idea of my grounding dolls that just whispered, just open the 1, it's fine. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to open Kinsley today. I think I'm going to have to call her Crescent though, because she's got the crescent moon tail. So she is from wave 3. So she's from the Slumber Party range, which was the last range of Mermaidz. After they'd announced they were discontinued, this suddenly appeared from nowhere. They're still in the Entertainer in the UK. The Entertainer is a UK toy shop. I went there 3 days ago to pick up a troll doll that I'd ordered, and they were still on the shelf in there, and they're like £13 a doll. They're very, very cheap, and they still had stock literally on the shelves. So if you're in the UK or you're somewhere else and don't mind paying shipping, these dolls are still available at the Entertainer toy shop in the UK. But yeah, Kinsley, or Crescent, she is going to be open today, so let's get her open. And of course the decision is going to be, where do I let Crescent live? Is she going to live on the mermaid shelf, which I have done lots of videos recently? I hope you're not sick of mermaid doll videos yet, because I've still got a lot more to come. But I do want to get to some Monster High openings, so I think the mermaid videos for now might be coming to an end. But where do I want her to live? Do I want her to live with the moon dolls, or do I want her to live up on the mermaid shelf? This is a decision that I am going to have to think about. So if I remember rightly, it's been a few months since I've opened one of these. As long as you can find all the bits of sellotape, I think that was the last one, they will just slide out. That was the leaflet about the colour change. So the colour change feature is always in the tail on here. If we go to the box art, you can see that there it is on the front. See the colour change, her tail will go from dark blue to silver, which is absolutely perfect for moonlight colours, and so I love that colour change. The box art is stunning. I mean, look at her face in the box art. Oh, and you can see the tail has got jewels through it, so they look like, yeah, they're like little stars. It really is up in the cosmos, isn't it? Right, so let's unclip her and get her on a stand, which unfortunately doesn't come with wave 1 or wave 3. No stands with those 2 waves, which I think was possibly their downfall, to be honest. I think if they'd have been easier to display, people would have probably wanted them more. If they had amazing stands, even if the price had crept up a fraction more, perhaps, who knows. So here she is, absolutely gorgeous. So you've got this long, beautiful shade of blue. I love that sort of silvery grey shade of blue. When it gets down to the bottom, that's quite crunchy, but I suppose that gives the ponytail that finish. But I struggle to leave my dolls with crunchy hair. I might have to wash just the end of her hair, because the rest of it is soft. It's only this very end bit that's full of gel. The jacket is gorgeous. It is like a hoodie. Of course, you can't actually get the hood up. You've got a separate top underneath, just stars and crescent moons on, and her earrings as well. You've got a crescent moon one side and a star the other, and then a matching double chain necklace. The hand sculpt, you've got the peace sign again, which we saw on the alien doll with all like the alien extras. So was the alien doll in, yeah, the alien doll was also in this wave. This one here with the orange hair, she also came with a peace sign hand sculpt. And like I said before, with the hand sculpts on these Mermaidz dolls, I thought they did a really fantastic job. The tail is solid plastic. You've got sort of a night sky or a cloudy sky, and then you've got the tail. Now, it was always supposed to be that they could stand up on their tails, which would have been brilliant for this idea of grounding with the moon. Literally, you're literally standing on the moon. However, there's no chance that she is balancing. I have tried every which way. There's no chance. One of the reasons being, with all of the Mermaidz dolls, look at the head. You've got articulation in the head, but the minute you let go, she kind of leans back over to one side. That has been a common thing in all of the Mermaidz. You can see it's the weight of the hair, because the second I balance the pigtail at the back, her head is a bit more controllable, and it's because they've just got so much hair. The body articulation, she will turn like that. Quite good articulation. You've got wrists, you've got elbows as well, although her arms are slightly tricky to move around with this jacket on, so a little bit limited just because of the clothing. But you can see, look, the minute the hair goes to one side, the weight of the hair will topple them over. So I'm going to try, and I'll show you me trying to stand her up, but she is definitely a doll, I think, that's going to need you to invest in a doll stand. And I'm thinking, do I have one that will work? I think I do. Hang on. So actually, I'm going to take it back. If you lean her right back to the very extent of how far she leans back, she is kind of relatively stable. So I'm going to take it back for this one. I think that her tail does work, which is amazing. So you can see you've got the 2 stars here. Let's just bring both of those 2 stars out so you can see them. So that's really lovely, and then you can really see in detail all the details of her. And she is one that has slightly more funky eye makeup. Can you see that sort of pink eyeliner line? And she seems to have like a silver frosting as well, and then the blue sort of graduated, oh, she's going, the blue graduated eyeshadow from one side to the next. And look, you can really see the eye makeup in there. Like all the other Mermaidz dolls, she does have real rooted eyelashes. Just think the face is just so pretty, and you can see the pattern on her top. Also, her jacket does have, oh, see, they are slightly unstable. Her jacket kind of has the mirroring of the clouds as well that she's got on her skirt. You can't really see that quite as much, Now, why has she suddenly decided that she does not want to stand up? There you go. So, yeah, one knock and they will be over, but not too bad as long as you've not got a shelf that you're constantly knocking into. And there you can see how brilliant the hand sculpts were on these dolls. I mean, look at that with the fingernails. Just really, really good sculpting. Now, she does come with what looks like a little craft case, which I love, with this star fastener. It does open, so this reminds me of sort of like a craft case or an art case. I did wonder whether this bit pulled out, as they do in most craft cases, but of course it doesn't. But then it snaps shut again, and I just thought that was a really lovely addition, although I don't quite know why it's bright pink. I'm not sure about that, and I'm going to give it to her, but I don't think I want her holding it. Do I like that? Yeah, I think probably I do. I would think I would have preferred it in, say, a blue-grey colour to match her, but I suppose it's a little pop of pink as well. So if I was using this doll for grounding and connecting with the moon, it might be that I put some goals in there for the moon cycle, because I think moon cycles are really nice to work on goals every moon cycle. So it might be that that's like a little activity case for some goals to go in, and it might be that every time I change one of the cards here that I just recheck the goals. So that might be really, really nice, which makes me think that I probably want her where my moon dolls are. There we go, guys. Those are my moon dolls and what I use them for, and like the idea of dolls for grounding. I'd love to know in the comment section what you think about using dolls for something like that. Is it something you've ever considered? Is it something that you already do? And like, what sort of aspects of grounding work do you best connect to? Is it, say, walking on grass? Is it quiet space? Is it colour? Could you see yourself connecting via the moon like I do? What is it for you? Or if you've never tried it before, would you be interested in giving that a go? So I think I'm gonna carry her through to my desk in my bedroom. Let's see what she looks like in there, because I do think these dolls really do belong together. So this is my desk in my bedroom, and you can see that my moon doll and this little oracle deck, which is called the Moon Journal, the creator of that swan deck. Look, they're all, if I show you the images, they're all different swans. It's only a dinky tiny little deck, just with a card that matches each moon phase. But she is on Instagram, so it's called the Moon Journal. So I just love that, because I love swans. Swans are really important to me, as you can see by one of my own art pieces. I've got a woman being lifted up by a swan over there. But yeah, that's where that deck and those dolls live, and I just thought she could just stay there in the corner. And I have another moon deck here, which is called the Earthly Souls and Spirits deck. This is, I've got the indie version, which was produced a while ago now, but this deck is now produced mass market if you wanted to get it mass market, and it does all it has all like moon artwork on there. So I thought she could hold kind of like a moon card from this deck as well. It could be part of my oracle and tarot practice. Like when I change the moon card, I change the message that she holds as well, which might be really nice, like a grounding message. So let's do that today, just for all of us. So I'm pretty sure that this is the box art for the current mass market production of this deck. It's called the Earthly Souls and Spirits Oracle. It's by Terry Foss. It does come with keywords on each of the cards. Let's just pull a card for our new moon girl up there, let's just pull a card for the collective just for today. Keyword for, say, the next week or so. So our word for the next few days while we're in the waning gibbous is positivity. So to see good in things, to keep hold of hope, to just take it brick by brick, step by step, and to try and see the good in situations, to stay positive. Great message for us. And I can actually be pulling a card for this girl to look after every time I change this card. So it's just a nice little spiritual practice as well, that I get reminded by the dolls that is there for me, because I love all these ideas, but remembering to implement them in a busy single mom life sometimes is the tricky bit for me, whereas with the dolls looking at me, it's such a great reminder. And I really love the fact that I've got swan card holders and then swans over there on those cards. It's just kind of all makes sense once I put it out on the desk in front of me. I love that. So that's it, guys. Those are my moon dolls. That's my grounding practice with dolls. I'd love to hear what you think about that, and I'll see you next time in the doll room, or possibly at my desk. Thanks, guys. Bye.